A number is increased by 20% and then again by 20%. By what percent should the increased number be reduced so as to get back the original number? Let this number, original number, be x. This number is increased by 20%. So I can write 100 plus 20% of x. So 120% of x. Now this value is again increased by 20%. So again I can write 120% of this value. So let us calculate this value, what it comes out to be. We have 120 upon 100 times 120 upon 100 times x. So we can cancel out these zeros. So this is 144x upon 100. Now this is the increased value. This is the increased number that we have got. We have to reduce, or we have to get back from this number the original number x. So this becomes the old value and this becomes the new value. And by what percent this old number should be reduced to get back the original number x? So we have a formula: percentage decrease is equals to new value minus old value upon the old value times 100. This is the formula for percentage decrease. So this is equal to the new value is x minus the old value is 144x upon 100 divided by the old value is 144 upon 100x times 100 that we already have. Now we can evaluate this. This is equivalent to 100x minus 144x is minus 44x. We can ignore this minus basically because we know that this is a decrease in values. So minus 44x upon 100 divided by 144x upon 100 times 100. So these hundreds get cancelled out. What remains is, and these x also get cancelled out. What remains is minus 44. Let's just ignore the minus right now. 44 by 144 times 100. And if you solve this, I'm not going to solve to save time. If you solve this, you'll get this as the right answer: 35 by 9%. So option B is the right answer. The price of tea being increased by 20%, a man reduces his consumption by 20%. By how much percent will his expenses for tea be decreased? Now you can have a table of price, consumption and expenses here. Let us assume that the price of tea is 100 rupees just for simplicity, and also assume that this consumption is, let's say, 10 kgs per month or per year, whatever it is. So price is 100 rupees and the consumption is 10. So the expenses is equal to price into consumption. If a man consumes 10 kgs and the price of 1 kg is 100, his expenses will be the price times consumption, which is 1000 here. Now the price of this tea is increased by 20%. So this price, which was 100, will become 120, right? Now this man has to reduce his consumption by 20%. So this consumption, which was 10, will be reduced by 20%, which means 20% of 10 is 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. This consumption will become 8. Now by how much percent will his expenses for tea will be decreased? So let us calculate the expenses here. 120 times 8 is the expenses, which is equal to 960. Now it is asked that by how much percent will his expenses for tea be decreased. So there is a percentage decrease in the expenses. This was the old value and this is the new value, and we have to calculate the percentage decrease. So percentage decrease in the expenses of this person is equals to the new value 960 minus the old value, which is 1000, divided by the old value, which is 1000. times 100. So these zeros I can cancel out. This is equal to 960 minus 1000 will give me minus 40 upon 10. I can ignore the minus because I know it is a decrease. So this is actually 4%. So there is a 4% decrease in the expenses of this person. If the price of petrol is increased by 30%, by how much percent a car owner must reduce his consumption in order to maintain the same budget? Again, we can have a table here. Let us consider initially that the price of petrol is 100 rupees or 100%, right? And let us assume that the consumption is 10 liters. So the budget will be the price of 1 liter of petrol times the total consumption, which is 100 times 10 is 1000 rupees, for example. Now this price of petrol is increased by 30%. So we have the new price as 130. By how much percent a car owner must reduce his consumption in order to maintain the same budget? If we have this as X, the budget should be same, it is set. So budget is 1000. So I can find out the value of X because 130 times X is 1000. So X will be 1000 by 130. 1000 by 130. Basically 100 by 13. Now I can say that the consumption has been reduced from 10 liters to 100 by 13 liters. And this is the old value and this is the new value of consumption. And I have to calculate the percentage decrease in the consumption. So I have the formula ready. Percentage decrease is equal to the new value minus the old value. So the new value is 100 by 13 minus the old value, which is 10, divided by the old value, which is 10 times 100. The 0 and this 0 get cancelled out, and this is equivalent to 100 minus 13 times 10 is 130 divided by 13 times this 10. So this is equal to 100 minus 130 is 30 and times 10, which is 300 divided by 13, and that is equal to 23 1 by 13%. So our answer is option C. The price of wheat falls by 16%. By what percentage a person can increase the consumption of wheat so that his overall budget does not change? This is also a similar question. Again, we can take a table here. Let us consider that the price of wheat was previously 100 and consider the consumption as 10 kgs. Now the price is per kg and the consumption is 10 kg, so the budget will be priced into consumption, which is 1000 rupees, let's say. Next, the price of wheat falls by 16%. The price of wheat falls by 16%. So we have 100 minus 16 as 84. So the price of wheat becomes 84. So the consumption needs to be increased. Let's say it is X, so that the budget does not change. So the budget remains the same. So 84 times X is equals to the budget, which is 1000. So X is equals to 1000 by 84. Now it is said that the consumption is increased from 10 kg to this X, 1000 by 84. So this is the old value and this is the new value. And we have been asked by what percentage this consumption must be increased. So percentage increase in consumption is equals to the new value, which is 1000 by 84 minus the old value, which is 10, divided by the old value, which is again 10 times 100. The zeros and the zeros gets cancelled out. So what remains is 1000 minus 840, which is equal to 160 divided by 84 times 10. So basically we have 1600 by 84, and that is equal to roughly 19%. So our answer is option D.